And yeah, we'll go from there, guys. So first things first, as always, every time we anticipate looking at the charts, the first thing we do, and this is obviously, after reading your trader's constitution, after going over your trading plan, after doing all the important things which you should be doing with your trading and your trading careers, is we obviously look at the fundamentals. Now, the reason we're looking at fundamentals is just because we want to identify if we're going to be expecting any high volatility in the markets. So, we know now in about 10 minutes, we've got this USD red folder news coming in UK time. So it's not, usually we get multiple red folders, but in this instance, we've only got one red folder with some other sort of low impact news, USD, that kind of thing. So it's really hard to say whether or not we're going to get that volatility if we, look further and further into the week. So for example, tomorrow, 1:30 CAD, you've got 3 different sets of news events and then 2 different sets of USD events all at 1:30. So all in all, on these pairs, I would certainly expect a lot of volatility to be kicking into the markets. So it's just one of those things we have to kind of be cautious of as you look. So definitely use this website, use this to your advantage, and get used to just trying to understand. You don't have to go into too much detail or anything like that in terms of whether or not it's what this particular event means or what direction it should go in, because we're just going to go by what structure tells us, and that's the way we're going to look at things. So looking at euro as kind of like the main pair at the moment, you can see here we've been traveling lower and lower. It's interesting because the last 2 days, as in the start of the week, have been kind of pushing to the upside. So it almost seems like we're rebalancing, but there is liquidity lower for us that we could potentially go towards. So like this low here, which we haven't yet got. We've got this wick here, which is going to be, signifying that there's a little bit of liquidity there. We've got this wick here. So there's definitely lows there that can be tapped into. But obviously at the same time, we have got this leg here, which we could be doing something like that. So that's obviously, a bit of a possibility. And, when we look lower, we can obviously see certain things happening. We can see this is sort of yesterday and today's price action pushing to the upside. It looks like we are, giving a slight rejection from this imbalance at the moment. So the fact that we're reacting from there might signal that we could be getting some moves to the downside. Now, looking at this structure here, this here is the counter trend. I wouldn't be interested in any type of sells unless we actually break below this area here. So that would kind of give me a lot of confidence that we could generally get a little bit of a low coming here, because, when you look at the higher time frames, we have got this area right here where we could come into. So it can come to that 1 hour area right here, and it can push higher, possibly into this area here. We have got more imbalance. We have got liquidity higher and things like that. So, at the moment, I feel like we need to kind of just wait a little bit and see what's going to happen with this one. But overall, I would like to see some of these lows get taken and follow the overall structure, which is pretty bearish at this moment in time. So, that's my sort of stance on EU at the moment. I'd like to see price come up to here, but on this smaller time frame, this is the high. We have broke above it. It's kind of bullish technically. It's not really very clean and not really great to trade with the conditions it's providing for us. But if we do come, aggressively expand to the downside, closing below this arrow here, then we might leave a bit of imbalance, an institutional candle, an FU candle, one of those things for us to potentially grab hold of on the way down. So yeah, we'll wait and see where we are with that one. Now, GU, I spoke about these areas in the Discord yesterday, and these are 2 areas I like. You can see we've obviously had this spike down and then up and then pushing up, and now it's obviously coming down again. It seems to be, taking a lot of liquidity at the moment. So maybe we've pushed above this high here, and actually maybe we're going to come a little bit lower. Quite similar to EU, we need to really wait and see what happens in this structure here. If we do seem to be accumulating here, then I'd be looking to target this area here. So I'd be happy to buy in here, to be honest, based on what the 1 hour is doing, because you can see we aggressively push down, sweeping out a lot of that trend line there. So a lot of these stop losses would have been taken out, price aggressively pushed higher, and now it's coming back into this area. So yeah, I'm definitely keen to see what could potentially happen there. I mean, it looks pretty good. in my eyes. Maybe the 45-minute looks a bit cleaner because we've obviously got imbalance and things like that. So let's see if price can maybe come to there and offer us a buy to the upside. But on the flip side as well, guys, if price does do similar to EU and close below this arrow here, then that would give me more of an indication price is going to sell off due to where we are on the 4 hour, with price being particularly bearish. But if you're going to get in on the longs, I'd be, cautious and making sure you know that your target really can't be much higher than this pink zone here. So we'll wait and see where we are with that one. GJ's been a bit weird lately. So obviously we've marked out this daily area here. We're well into our discount levels. We've started to react to the upside, but as far as the daily is concerned, we are still trending up, but this is a counter trend. So you can see here, we're very, very bullish. And what's going on at the moment is price is obviously undecided is probably the best way to put it, where it wants to go long term. If we come down to a lower time frame, you can see this is the 4 hour structure, which was broken. So it was predominantly bearish. This is the high for me. This is the low. I can see that, we've obviously come back into this area here. We've made a high. We've then made a new low. So where we are now, we might have a stance to come a little bit lower. We are in this imbalance in here. We did take out liquidity and things like that along the way. There's no real reason that price should come higher if you're kind of counting that as the low, that is the high, and then the break and things like that. If you turn on the line chart, that does support the fact that that is a pretty good 4 hour bearish break to the downside. So with that being the high, low, high, new low, so new high, and reacting in there. So I do like this area. I think was it Nina, was it you, if you're in this call, you're the one that put that in there. So this can play out essentially where we are. It's a nice looking area. I think obviously we need to wait and see what we're doing with the sessions. So we have got both sides of Asian session, but to be honest, that's not really a problem with this pair. So with this pair here, it's not really an issue, Asian session liquidity, because you can see here you get a lot of volatility in the Asian sessions, and the reason for that is, the yen pairs and things like that, they trade in those sessions. So you expect to see their banks, their institutions, things like that trade within those areas. So this could play out, but as we say, what we like to do is key out the 130 area right there, and we like to grab our sort of 7 a.m. London open, and then what we can do is basically identify liquidity. So we know we've got the high here, we've got the low all the way down here. What I would be kind of thinking of is to see if we can just close above here in the meantime. I wouldn't mind if we distributed above this. I would like to see us come above that wick as well, but at the same time, kind of understand that this is a liquidity draw. So it doesn't have to hit the whole high. So this is obviously the London high, this is obviously London low. But what would be good is if we did distribute and come lower. Now, if we take this area here, then great. If we don't, so if price comes into here and starts distributing, I would just wait for a smaller time frame consolidation and then another kind of distribution play. As long as we can show that we've swept some kind of liquidity on the way down and then come back in for a retest, that's okay with me. If we end up leaving that area, that's fine. But obviously what we would rather see is that, and then a rejection, and then a retest, and then we can get in on the market. But overall, I do like this area, and obviously long term, if we aren't going to respect it and we are going to press higher, let me just turn the sessions off. Realistically, I would want to see price carry on moving higher and closing above this area here. So if we do close above this area here, I do like this candle that's been created. We've got imbalance and things in there that are being left behind. So if we, come higher, then maybe we come into this imbalance and we actually start accumulating to the upside, and then that would further support the daily bias for being pretty bullish. So we'll wait and see where we go with that one. But yeah, not a bad area at all. So if we go onto the indices now, and I haven't really looked at the indices too much today, and the first thing that kind of brings out to me is there's an awful lot of consolidation. And I think the reason, if I go up a time frame, is because the weekly has reached a high. We've got this liquidity in the form of these equal highs forming here. There's a lot of opinions forming at the moment. We've obviously got seasonality with certain changes in the market conditions and that kind of thing. What I would be kind of keen to see is if, the market's going to give us an overall direction for where it wants to go. We have broken to the downside and we are in this area here. We have come into this imbalance, which is on a smaller time frame, and we're just kind of continuing to consolidate over the last week or so. So realistically, overall, I'd say we're pretty bearish, but it's just not as clean as I'd like it to be. We're inside this 4-hour area at the moment. We could obviously come lower. If we haven't even taken either side of previous day or previous daily lows at this moment in time. So that there is the previous day high. Down here is our previous day low. So it's interesting at the moment because it looks like we're kind of having what we like to call an inside day. And this is the consolidation you can kind of see in here. So we really need the market to kind of give us a bit more of an indication as to what it actually wants to do. And then hopefully we'll be able to, gauge something with what we can see in here. So, as of now, we've obviously hit the 130. This is the news. Maybe we're going to come a little bit lower. So I can hit this in at 130 and again, 7 a.m. So that's our London session liquidity. I don't really want to trade in here. I'd like to see us sweep some liquidity. We have got these, relative equal lows right here. Maybe we come lower and then accumulate to go higher. But I think I need to wait another hour just to kind of see what the market wants to give us. I don't really have a bias at the moment. I'd feel more comfortable with price taking one of these daily lows or highs, or at least heading towards one of them. Because even at the moment, we're kind of in the middle of both these areas here at the moment. You can kind of see if I measure the range, where are we at the moment? We're not too far away from 50% of where we were, in between both daily highs and lows. So yeah, I'm not overly convinced it's going to really move in either direction at this moment in time. And that's okay. That's okay. We don't have to do anything. We've got another sort of hour until I like to really look to take anything at the moment anyway. So NAS is looking a bit healthier, I would say. NAS is giving us a bit more of a clear indication of where it's going. We're clearly bullish. Okay, you can see there's no messing around with it. We are pushing. Even the weekly is heading up. Now, I did say at the start of the week, or the end of last week, I see this wick here as the target. If we can obviously come to this area here, that'd be great. And as you can see, we're not too far away at the moment. And the daily is just kind of creeping its way to the upside. You can see that obviously price, this was obviously with high volatile news, came down. And now we're starting to push up again. We did just about have a close below that candle there, but we have respected this low overall. So interesting to see really what's going to happen in the next couple of hours or so. I'm pretty bullish, to be honest. And even where it is right now, this could definitely just carry on pushing higher. Don't get me wrong, we can come lower into this candle here, but when we look at the fact that what we've kind of got within this candle is this imbalance right here, and we did come into that area there. It'd be interesting to see, did we reach 50% of that imbalance? So we didn't quite come to 50% of the imbalance, but that's not to say that's not enough. We've obviously come into that imbalance and we've pushed higher and we've made another high. So yeah, let's really see what happens. I think obviously now we've got this liquidity down here. So if we can maybe accumulate under this low or under maybe one of these lows here, that'd be really, really strong for us to do that. And I'd really like to kind of see that. So that's the 130 and 7 a.m. So I think realistically, NAS looks the more favorable option at the moment. And, NAS swept the Asian session from the 7 a.m. grab at 8 a.m. in the morning, UK time, pushed to the upside. Now it could be a case of mitigating into London sessions open and then pushing higher. I would personally rather see us sweep below that liquidity and accumulate to go higher. I'm very interested in that area there, to be honest. That liquidity I'm interested in. And if it gets to 230 and we're still kind of hanging around, I'm not against seeing what structure is going to kind of give for us in terms of getting a bearish move to target that liquidity. So, we're pretty bearish here. You can see that on the 5-minute, especially. The 15-minute still bullish, but we know where our targets are. We've got a clear target. That's the liquidity. That's what we want. So that's where I'm looking. I prefer it at the moment to US 500, but same thing. There is liquidity there. So we'll see what happens with it, I guess. I think the better thing is I like about NAS is that we swept above the previous daily high. So that's kind of what my thinking is at the moment, guys. I mean, yeah, has anyone got, because they're the pairs I'm kind of looking at. Really, I don't tend to flood myself with different pairs. I have all of these assets and pairs in here for you guys, to be honest. So I look at the high time frames, I look at the watch list, I look at that kind of thing. And if I see decent looking things, I always do it. But in and around when I'm trading, maybe London Open, New York Open, New York PM session, whatever it is, I tend to stick to just the indices and maybe euro and maybe a pound pair. But have you guys got any charts you want me to look at? And I'm happy to analyze. Have you got any questions about what we've looked at so far? Does everything we've kind of gone over make sense? You know, let me know in the chat, guys, and hopefully I can give you a hand. So yeah, looks here that this news event has taken liquidity, building that imbalance, carrying on making downside movements. Yeah, interesting here, because if we do close below the hour candle, and let's bear in mind, guys, this is on euro now. If we've got 25 minutes yet, and it looks pretty bearish. So getting a close below that 1 hour candle would be really good. And I definitely fancy getting a move to the upside to sell overall long term. Steve, gold, please. Of course. The gold, I mentioned yesterday, I don't really like gold at the moment. And that is just because, you know, we're building up so much liquidity. You know, overall, gold is bullish. There's no two ways about it. On a higher time frame, on all the time frames, we're bullish. We've nearly at these equal highs. We've actually created this triple top, which is a huge factor with retail traders. Okay, a lot of retail traders will see this as a sell signal, because triple tops and W's and things like that. So, you know, they'll be looking at things like that happen. They'll see that as areas to sell off of. So there's going to be there's going to be so many stop losses playing in here at the moment. And I'm talking hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars and pounds and things like that. So a lot of retail traders are going to be really heavily invested in sales in this area here at the moment. And as you can see, they're probably in profit. But what the market is doing, and this is my opinion, by the way, I'm not claiming to know exactly which way it's going to go. No one knows which way it's going to go. But in my opinion, the market will entice the stop losses in, because yes, there'll be stop losses here, but more people are going to be putting stop losses here, for example, because they're going to see more triple tops and double tops and things like that. And when the market's ready to, probably when there's high volatile news, it's just going to explode to the upside. And you know, this line is important because it doesn't just indicate taking out that triple top where the stop losses are going to be. It will signify all-time highs for gold. So there is absolutely no way you're going to get away with that not being hit at some point very, very soon. Gold is typically always, you know, being bullish. So it's not going to just stop where it is and when it's so close and come down, when there's just going to be so much liquidity to grab onto. So with that being said, yes, I'm favoring bullish moves. But the reason I'm not favoring getting involved in these bullish moves at the moment is because we've got so much liquidity resting below as well. Now, that is just a huge amount of liquidity in this trend line. We've got more here. I'm really not keen on risking any of my account in this asset, because, again, I can't really work out which way the market's going to go. And when I'm in a position like that, and if any of you are in a position like that, the best thing you can do is in all honesty, just watch from the sidelines. Now, for me, I don't care if the world's most incredible move plays out, because, and if I miss it, that's fine. Opportunities happen every day. We get in the market every day, different opportunities, and they're going to be available every day for the next 100 years and beyond that. So I'm not bothered about missing the odd move here and there, but what I'd be satisfied with is to see us basically take this liquidity. Now, if we can provide lower moves and then start accumulating, yeah, I'd be in the buys all day long, because we would have taken a huge amount of liquidity. But yeah, that being said, I know that people have got bills to pay and funded accounts to pass and things like that. All I'm saying is I wouldn't want to be getting involved in it. But if you are an intraday trader and you are looking to get in, then, you know, I would be favoring bearish moves at this moment in time, targeting this liquidity here. It looks like we're quite close to this low, especially. As of now, realistically, it could just carry on moving lower. We have created this expansion. We've filled in, you know, this area here, and then we've carried on moving lower. You can see there with the news, we've kind of taken both sides. We've taken more downside liquidity. I would like to see us at least close above this liquidity right here. You know, it's creating more highs there and then potentially sell off. But, you know, that being said, I really don't like trading Asian session inside the Asian session. And I do take comfort in the fact that, to be fair, we have closed below that Asian session low. So maybe get an accumulation from here on. If we close above there, we could accumulate, come higher. We could definitely target that area there. Now, if we target that area there, that's fine. And this is the thing. This is what I'm saying. You know, we've taken the Asian low. Okay. We've taken the London low. We've swept below the liquidity. If we accumulate, come high, that kind of gives us everything we want in terms of buys. And that's fine. We can do that. All I'm saying is, for me, I think there's definitely more reason for price to come lower. So I don't particularly feel as comfortable as I usually would with another pair if that liquidity wasn't there. But yeah, that's my take on gold at the moment, really, just to see if we close above there and maybe getting on the retest. I do like this candle. You know, I do like that. That's really nice. I love the fact that we've swept the Asian low and then pushed higher. We just need to close above this area here, in my opinion. Rachel says, hi guys, sorry I'm late. That's fine, Rachel. Hope you're okay. And by the way, guys, massive congratulations to Rachel, who's passed the first phase of her funded account, by the way. Absolutely incredible from Rachel here. And the thing is, this is just the beginning, not just for Rachel, but for everyone. Okay, for absolutely everyone. We're going to, you know, smash it. And you know, the work's not done or anything like that. And you know, it's all about the next funded challenge. Once you got this funded account, you're going to go get the next one and the next one and the next one. That's for all of you as well, guys. You know, it's absolutely possible and realistic to think that this is all going to happen for you. And the only way it's not going to happen is if you quit, if you give up. You know, that's the reason a lot of traders fail in this industry. They don't you know, have the will to carry on, get up. I mean, you know, I've fallen down many times with trading, and I'm here now, still working, still doing it, still pushing. Rachel, I know you've had a few knockbacks. I know some of you here have had a few knockbacks, and look at you now. You know, and the thing is, guys, if you're not on the funded account route just yet, think of how much you know now compared to what you didn't know. And that's the difference. You know so much now than before you did. Okay, you know so much now, and it's all about just keeping your head together, keeping your discipline, and you're going to have setbacks. You know, I had a horrid week last week, and last week my week was all over the show. But it's all about showing up the next time, and then making sure, because it's very easy to fall into a hole, and then, you know, problems occur. But, you know, it's all about showing up, and that's what you're doing, guys, and I love that. So look here, guys, you know, 15-minute, we are pushing now. I do like this. So this, if you're a gold trader, I would like to see what's going to happen if price can maybe do that. That would be really good. Or even just set the entry. But like I say, I just don't like the liquidity below. So let's see what, I mean, with this movement we've got, let's see if Euro's up to anything. So yeah, both sides at the moment, we're now reacting to the upside. Maybe this was a liquidity grab. There, we filled in that imbalance. Yeah, looks nice. Yeah, there's a lot of I think really when it gets to about 2 o'clock, 2:30, we're gonna have a better idea of things. So that is that the 5-minute area we spoke about. So that's now playing out. So yeah, looks good. So that was obviously a news play, could work out there, pretty nice. So this is the thing now I would probably say is, you know, follow it down, see if we can close below here, and then hopefully we create some more sort of liquidity, and then we just get another continuation move down. That would be the way I would try and plot my way into that one, if we can obviously make lower movements. I'd like to see us maybe come lower to here, just to see if we can come lower there, just to give me a bit more confidence, because, you know, we could just carry on pushing higher, and we have still got the sessions, you know, the London session high and low and things like that. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. So there, we've closed below there. We've not yet closed below there. So, you know, potentially we have now closed below this area. We have taken the area there. It's pretty bearish at the moment. You know, we have got the previous day low as well. You know, we've swept this high. Maybe we're going to have a bearish New York session. We'll see. We shall see. Has anyone got any other charts, guys, they want me to look at, or any questions in general? Yeah, please feel free to ask. And this is really the best time, you know, while we're all here together. If you have any questions or you have any charts for me to look at, anything, you know, let us know. There was an interesting pair. Where is it? I was looking at yesterday, and I will update the watch list as well that we're doing on the Discord, guys. So once I've seen a few things, I think it was here. So yeah, we're now inside that 4-hour area there on USD CHF. I'd love to see price go higher. You know, we've got the 15-minute high and the hour high. So yeah, I'm definitely it's really a case of waiting for that. If we can get that, I'd really like to see us move higher from here. I do like this a lot at the moment. See where that goes. So yeah, look, we've closed above that area there. Reacting. Yeah, I think we'll see how it goes, guys. So yeah, I mean, to sum up, I mean, unless you guys have got any charts you want me to look at, just let me know. But you know, for me, I think NAS is one of the better ones at the moment to potentially get in something. I do think gold looks good, but like I say, I'm not so keen on gold just because of this amount of liquidity, and I'm happy to not take a trade on in here somewhere if it means saving my account size. But I do like this rejection. You know, we could, don't get me wrong, we could come into here, distribute and come lower, but as long as you're aware of the possibilities and things like that, because some people would class, you know, some people class that as a high, that as a low, price could come in and then obviously react. For me, I still class that as a high, that as a low, and I don't think there's really any right or wrong answer. It's how you adapt yourself in the market. And, you know, as long as you're profitable, consistent with your results, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. I know a lot of people do get quite salty with because they think there's only one way of understanding, determining structure. If you find a way that works for you and it works for you, and, you know, most importantly, it makes you consistent and profitable, it takes you to where you want to be in life, I think that's the key, rather than people getting really bitter and funny about certain things with structures and highs and lows and all that kind of thing. You know, what one thing I find quite funny is, you know, when I'm explaining structure on social media and things like that, I am posting my opinion to the market, and I get a lot of people go, oh, that's not right, that's not right. And I just think, I don't care what you think, because what works for me is what works for me. And that's the thing. But a lot of people just don't like, I don't know, don't like being told, I guess, or don't like other people sharing their opinions. But yeah, I see that as the high that's been broken by here. So price should accumulate, come here. But if we do distribute in here, that's only because this is a reason and a place we could essentially react from. So I wouldn't be surprised with either outcome. But, you know, like I said, for me, I just see that as too much. That's just so much bait, so much bait. So I'm not too keen on it. But yeah. Any questions, guys? Any questions at all? Yeah, slow reaction, but it's okay. We have kind of created a buy model, but not a great one. We didn't really create a lot of liquidity here. So yeah. So guys, unless you've got any other questions, what I'll do then, I'll leave it there. I've got to go over the areas we looked at, so I'm going to update the Discord accordingly. When I look to trade in the next sort of 40 minutes, I will sort of let the Discord know if I'm looking in a certain direction or anything like that. If you have any questions in the Discord, please feel free to reach out, guys. And yeah, have a great day, whatever you're up to. Share your charts, share your progress. Any questions, please shout. Other than that, I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Well done, everyone.